Bleeding Hearts, from botanical symbolism to modern horror storytelling. The phrase bleeding hearts carries a rich dual heritage. For centuries, it has evoked images of delicate, heart-shaped blossoms swaying gently in shaded gardens. More recently, the same phrase has entered contemporary pop culture through a psychological horror narrative that explores emotional wounds in a far darker way. Although these two meanings exist in very different worlds, one rooted in nature and the other in storytelling, both share a powerful symbolic thread: the human fascination with love, loss, and vulnerability. Origins and cultural history of bleeding heart flowers. Long before modern horticulture standardized plant names, bleeding heart flowers captivated gardeners in East Asia, particularly in regions of China, Korea, and Japan. Historical records suggest the plant was cultivated in temple gardens and aristocratic landscapes, where its unique blossoms became associated with poetic imagery. The droplet-tipped petals resembled a heart pierced by emotion, inspiring folklore about unrequited love and quiet devotion. When European plant collectors traveled through Asia in the 18th and 19th centuries, they brought specimens back to botanical gardens across Britain and France. The Victorian era, known for its fascination with the language of flowers, quickly embraced the bleeding heart as a symbol of deep affection and sentimental longing. Gardeners prized it not only for its visual beauty, but also for its narrative symbolism, a plant that seemed to tell a story simply by blooming. By the late 1800s, the plant had become a staple of cottage gardens throughout Europe and North America. Its popularity coincided with a broader movement toward ornamental shade gardening, as urbanization created smaller residential spaces that favored decorative plants capable of thriving without full sunlight. Publications like the Old Farmer's Almanac helped popularize practical advice for growing the plant, cementing its reputation as both elegant and accessible. Botanical development and horticultural evolution. Throughout the 20th century, horticulturists developed new cultivars with varying colors and bloom durations. While classic pink varieties remained the most recognizable, white and deeper red forms expanded the plant's aesthetic range. Hybridization efforts also led to types that could bloom longer into the growing season, increasing their appeal to gardeners seeking extended visual interest. The plant's life cycle contributed to its mystique. After flowering, many traditional varieties naturally die back, disappearing from the garden until the following spring. This seasonal vanishing act reinforced symbolic interpretations of fleeting love and emotional cycles, themes that have echoed through literature and art for generations. In modern landscape design, bleeding hearts are valued for their compatibility with woodland settings, where dappled light and moist soil replicate their native habitat. Their resilience and minimal pest problems have made them a favorite among gardeners looking for low-maintenance yet visually distinctive plants. Symbolism across literature and art. The bleeding heart motif has appeared repeatedly in poetry, visual arts, and even religious symbolism. Writers have long used the flower as a metaphor for vulnerability, a physical representation of emotions laid bare. In romantic literature, references to heart-shaped blossoms often accompanied themes of longing, sacrifice, or devotion. During the early 20th century, the flower also became a popular decorative element in greeting cards and textile patterns, reflecting a broader cultural fascination with sentimental imagery. Its recognizable shape allowed it to function almost like an icon, instantly conveying emotional depth without words. Transition into popular culture. While the botanical meaning of bleeding hearts has centuries of history, the phrase gradually expanded beyond horticulture. By the late 20th century, it began appearing more frequently in music, film, and literature titles, often signaling stories centered on emotional conflict or romance. This linguistic shift paved the way for the phrase's eventual adoption within darker narrative genres, where emotional pain could be explored in more intense and psychological ways. the emergence of the Bleeding Hearts comic series. In the 2020s, the phrase found new life through a horror comic series that reinterprets the symbolism for a modern audience. Published under the influential imprint DC Vertigo, the series reimagines the concept of emotional vulnerability as a source of tension and dread. Written by Denise Camp and illustrated by Stepan Morian, the story centers on characters whose emotional scars manifest in unsettling ways. Rather than relying solely on traditional horror tropes, the narrative focuses on psychological depth, exploring how trauma can shape identity and relationships. The debut issue drew attention for its restrained pacing and atmospheric storytelling. Critics noted that the series felt less like a conventional horror tale and more like an intimate character study infused with unease. This approach reflects a broader trend in modern horror, where emotional realism often replaces overt shock as the primary source of fear. Historical context of Vertigo's influence. To understand the significance of the series, it helps to consider the legacy of its publisher. The Vertigo imprint, established in the 1990s, became known for mature, literary-leaning comics that pushed the boundaries of genre storytelling. Over decades, it cultivated a reputation for exploring philosophical and psychological themes, making it a natural home for a narrative like Bleeding Hearts. The new series continues this tradition, blending horror with introspective drama. Its focus on damaged protagonists echoes earlier Vertigo works that emphasized character complexity over spectacle, illustrating how the imprint's influence persists even in contemporary titles. Themes of love, obsession, and monstrosity. At its core, the comic examines the thin line between affection and fixation. The title itself serves as a metaphor. Just as the flower's droplet suggests a wound, the character's emotional experiences hint at hidden fractures beneath the surface. This thematic overlap with the botanical symbolism is likely intentional, linking the natural and narrative meanings of Bleeding Hearts. The story also explores the idea of monstrosity as something internal rather than external. Instead of traditional villains, the tension arises from the character's own fears and desires. This psychological approach reflects a shift in modern horror toward more nuanced explorations of human behavior. Symbolic parallels between plant and story. Despite their differences, the flower and the comic share striking symbolic parallels. Fragility and resilience. The plant's delicate blooms contrast with its hardy nature, much like the character's emotional vulnerability coexists with inner strength. Cycles of dormancy and renewal. The plant's seasonal disappearance mirrors themes of emotional withdrawal and renewal in the narrative. Visual metaphor. The heart shape provides an immediate symbolic link between love and pain in both contexts. These parallels highlight how a single phrase can carry layered meanings across disciplines, bridging natural history and storytelling. The enduring appeal of the Bleeding Hearts motif. The continued relevance of Bleeding Hearts, whether in gardens or graphic novels, speaks to the universality of its symbolism. Humans have always been drawn to imagery that captures the complexity of emotion, and few symbols do so as elegantly. The flower offers a gentle, almost poetic representation of feeling, while the comic transforms that same idea into a darker, introspective exploration. In an era where audiences increasingly seek stories with emotional authenticity, the motif feels more relevant than ever. It demonstrates how symbols evolve, taking on new interpretations while retaining their original essence. Conclusion. From its origins in East Asian gardens to its role in contemporary horror storytelling, Bleeding Hearts illustrates the remarkable journey of a symbol across time and mediums. The flower's graceful form continues to enchant gardeners, while the comic reimagines its meaning for a modern audience fascinated by psychological depth.